5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Please do not change channel.
From Krypton Radio, brought to you by Famous Faces and Funnies and Off the Chain with Yvonne Mason, it's the Hangin With Web Show Radio Hour, the Internet's premier pop culture talk radio show. You're tuned in, you're logged on, and now your hosts, GW Pomichter and Christian Basel. Who are you hanging with?
Hello, Krypton Radio. Welcome to the Hangin With Web Show Radio Hour. This is an amazing week. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel. Howdy.
I am Sagia.
And I'm Dina Marie.
And we are the Hangin With Web Show Radio Hour team. We're the crew. We are the superheroes of the airwaves.
We are the Avengers.
The Avengers, that's right. This is Avengers week, guys. So, you know what? We had a list of guests that we were going to do for all, weeks coming up here, and we decided this week we're just going to get the whole team together and we're going to talk Avengers. So, this is an exciting time. If you're a comic book, sci-fi, fantasy fan, this is your week. You've been waiting for this for a decade.
To infinity and beyond. Oh, not right.
That wrong movie.
That might not have been the one. It might not. Yeah. Wrong. Infinity. Christian.
Yes.
Tomorrow is the day. Officially Friday, but tomorrow is the day that theaters will start showing this. Starting, I guess, about 7:00 tomorrow night.
Okay.
And I know you're out there and you're traveling around. What are you hearing about this movie? How are people priming themselves for this movie?
Well, mostly I'm hearing it from Facebook, and everybody's ready. I mean, everybody's got their tickets. I hear parties getting together. People are putting out invites. Everybody's excited about this movie, and I'm going to wait until things die down before I go see the movie.
How about you? Are you excited for this moment?
Yeah, I am. I'm finally catching up on a lot of Marvel movies. I feel bad because I'm catching up on movies like Ant-Man. I haven't seen Black Panther yet, but once it gets on Netflix, I'm going to catch up with that one as well. So
that's all right. And our Krypton Radio audience will know from past conversations, guys. The fact that Christian is on Ant-Man already, that means he's been doing some mad movie watching. Because Christian's got 18 jobs, and it's really hard for him to get downtime to watch this stuff. So you're on Ant-Man, which means you're not very far from caught up.
No, right? I'm getting all my I'm trying to catch up with everything that's out there. There's a ton of stuff out there, and it's just finding time. And I know this is my gig to geek out pop culture, and I'm like, oh god, everybody, it's like coming into the classroom and everybody's on chapter 5. Here I am straggling around chapter 2. I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't I be on 5, or how do I catch up? And all that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, as a family, we watch all of these as a family. The last few we've gone to the theater for. Man, one of the things that's amazing when you go to the theater for one of these, because I don't go to the theater very often. I save that for the event movie, because I have a 100-inch screen on my wall, so it's like being in the movie theater anyway. I go to the theater for people watching, and these are fantastic movies for that, because every movie theater, when one of these movies comes out, is a little miniature Comic-Con in and of itself.
Right.
There are cosplayers. There are, they're celebrating, these movies and these characters, and it's fantastic. It really is. I know. Now you're not quite caught up yet, so you're going to wait until this. You're going to wait for this on video, or are you going to the theater for it?
Most likely I'm probably going to see it in the theater, because a bunch of my friends are nagging me and say, Christian, you're going to come and see this, right? You're going to see this.
They're going to.
Why aren't you going to see this? And you know what? I'm going to do the unpopular thing right now. I'm actually looking more towards the Deadpool movie than the Avengers movie.
No, you know what?
I'm in a minority on my own on that, but
this will be Deadpool 2 is the first Deadpool movie since the merger 2. So shades of universes melting and merging. Because Deadpool is great at his wit and witticisms and at picking on the rest of the universes already. So now they have license. The merger went through. They have license to dive into. Does anybody remember Deadpool 1? The seeing in the background the big hover carrier.
Yeah.
The final climactic scene. And it was called, from what I understand from behind the scenes, it was called everything on set except a helicarrier because, they weren't part of the universe. And now the merger's gone through, so I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And I saw an interview just today, as a matter of fact. I was doing my homework, and I was watching some of the red carpet coverage of the big Hollywood premiere of Infinity War. And Kevin Feige alluded to the fact that coming up Phase 4, we're going to start to see our Fox and our other Marvel characters being brought into the Avengers universe and vice versa. We'll be able to talk about these universes. They're not going to like retcon it. They're just it's there. So X-Men exists in the now Marvel universe, and Deadpool exists in the now Marvel universe. So that's a lot more fun. And for Deadpool, who takes a comedic tone to it, there's a lot more fodder for him now because he has access to all of it.
Well, I saw the final trailer, and he's just still stabbing at things, and it's what I like about him is there's no boundaries to him now, and especially now with the merger. Did you get to see the final trailer?
I did.
He had his little picks at things, and first of all, he does a little thing to Thanos, and he said, "Tap the hate brakes, Thanos." And then there was a scene where Cable stabs him in the neck, and he says something to Deadpool, and Deadpool says something like, "So dark, are you sure you're not from the DC universe?" I mean, it's just there's no limit.
No,
because the fourth wall is involved in this, and he just, he's the reason why we can laugh at all the seriousness when in downtime. So I think after Avengers, everybody will need that Deadpool 2 placebo to get them back up.
I think we're going to need that. I do. I have that feeling.
I'm going to say on my prediction why we're going to need that placebo.
No, and it was great to watch all of the celebrities interviewed on the red carpet, and then afterwards they had a great big panel hosted by Jeff Goldblum. And it was great to see them try to answer questions without answering questions because it's one day until it's officially out there for everybody. So there's still this spoiler-free zone. On the internet, they're posting the memes everywhere.
Well, I think Thanos is definitely one of the best villains out there, and everybody agrees that he certainly measures up as one of the best villains. And it's funny because you
use the term measured up. He's like 9,000 feet tall. He's a huge.
Yes, but the thing about Thanos is he doesn't consider himself a villain. He considers himself a hero, very much like Darth Vader always considered himself. Dun, da, da, da. He was the hero. He was triumphing. He had the right of it. And Thanos believes that of himself.
Those are the best bad guys.
Yeah.
Those are the best bad. I mean, right down to even the early, and that takes us into that. My next question for all of us here is, Christian Christian already gave spoilers to his, but it's favorite so far Avengers movie. Discounting Infinity War because it's now. Favorite Avengers movie so far. Christian, do you have a favorite Avengers movie?
I'm going to have to think about this. Are you referring to all the Avengers together, or we can throw in the
No, we can throw it right from day one, from Iron Man. Iron Man 1 all the way through now 10 years of Marvel. Favorite, on-screen adaptation.
See, will Deadpool count in this or no?
Well, I get, see, this is it. Now he does. Now Deadpool does count.
I'm going to throw Deadpool out there.
Yeah, because the merger went through. Deadpool is a part of this universe now. The X-Men are a part of this universe now. How about you, Dina? What's your favorite Avengers movie, Dina?
Civil War.
Civil War.
Yeah, it brought everybody together, and it started to bring everybody together.
So just watching people destroy 9.5 years of working together, that was your moment. That was your moment. That made you happy.
Of course.
Wow.
Got to see them all fight.
Sage?
Well, I suppose not counting, and I am counting, which is why I'm saying it, which is Spider-Man Homecoming, because I loved his inclusion into the MCU, is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I love.
Okay, wait.
Come on, that
the
counts. It's
entire
part of the
extended
MCU.
universe. You're gonna for the whole extended universe. You're gonna choose
Look,
the television network.
Yes, I am. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. managed to pull all of the different threads together
Without
for
ever showing us a single
everything.
character, which
Yes,
was great.
But they mentioned them all, and
Well, no, that's not true. They did actually show us Nick Fury at one
Ghost
point.
Rider.
look, I think
And
Coulson,
Ghost Rider, yes.
Ghost
Coulson
Rider, if you
is
wanna
the
count.
lodestone.
Yes, well, and they asked in one of the panel discussions today I saw that I was watching, they did ask if Coulson would be returning to the big screen anytime soon.
He's like the Kenny from South Park.
Will you
you just-
He
yeah.
says
Will you
kinda-
sign my
Yeah.
cap card?
Yeah. He's been in Tahiti. It's a magical place. Steven, how about you? Steven, what is your favorite Avengers movie so far?
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3. Yeah. Okay, so why, guys? Why Iron Man 3, Steven? What about that one particularly did you like?
We got to see a little more of Tony's heart in that one, instead of just being this.
Like literally, they did open heart surgery, so
Yeah.
you got to see like his
Glow in
heart.
the dark.
Yeah. No, but
Hitting on his chest.
it brought his character to an emotional level. Because beforehand, he was just this billionaire playboy philanthropist that had a thing with his secretary. And this gave him a little
All of
more
the Iron Man
emotion.
movies, that's what you drew out?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
It gave him more of
Depth.
Depth, exactly.
Dina, how about you? What your favorite one was?
Civil War.
Civil War. Why?
It just I just liked seeing the interaction with all the characters that we've watched over the last 10 years. Even though they were fighting against each other, they were all interacting with each other, and that was awesome. Plus, you got to see Spiderman, with the guys, which he was totally rocked it.
Yep. Sage?
Well, I will tell you what. In Civil War,
Yeah.
one of the most awesome moments was Chris Evans, and he reached out for that helicopter, and those muscles.
Yeah, I got to. I'll admit. I'll admit. I had a little man crush going there. That was pretty awesome.
I'll
I
leave
think
you to
we
it.
all did.
That was a super
Yeah,
nerdgasm. I'm
that
just
was-
saying.
That. Wow. Nerdgasm.
That's what I said.
Christian, how about you? Favorite moment on this journey?
Favorite moment?
Yeah.
As far as in the movies, or just
Yeah. Well, yeah, in the movies or what you've heard on the side or anything like that. What was your favorite? What really?
like I said, I think I hate to. Well, I don't want to hate to throw it out there, but I do like Deadpool just because it is the anti-Avengers, Marvel, X-Men universe. It really just takes it on its own. I mean, it pokes fun at itself. It poked fun at everything that happened with Green Lantern.
Right, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was. It did, and it was Ryan Reynolds taking it to a new level, wrapping it up on his own, and with a very basic storyline. But because of the characterizations, you had Negasonic Teenage Warhead, you had Colossus, the way he was interacting with them, and now we're going to see Domino, and we're going to see other characters. We're going to see Peter in action. I think I like that the best because the humor, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. Even though, as ironic it sounds, that the premise that Deadpool kind of spiritually wraps around to poke fun at the other universes, it had a serious storyline.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's kind of still, poking fun at the other things while it was doing the same thing to itself. So
Yeah, no, it is. It is. That was one of the things. I think one of the biggest things happening with Infinity War coming out is the merging of the Earth-based Avengers with our space-based Guardians, because the Guardians, when the Avengers universe was limited to not cover the stuff that was over at Fox and not cover the stuff that was over at Sony, the Guardians filled that gap. They filled that comedic role, and the idea of now watching them come together with our original established MCU characters is fantastic. And again, that's one of the exciting things about moving forward is watching them bring in the X-Men, watching them bring in Deadpool, the Fantastic Four, all of these things that are happening in Phase 4. Infinity War, while it is a climax of 10 years of existing content, is also the kickoff of the next 10 of merging content together and things like that, which is just what a great time to be a nerd. It doesn't get any better than this. I mean, we're kicking off. There's 2 more Phase 3 movies.
Well, I think the correct term is geek anyway. So
yes. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Because I guess in the vernacular of old school, the nerd was really the not just smart and into this kind of stuff, but was the socially awkward one. And the geek community is. We're a community. There's no social awkwardness because we are social with each other. So, yeah, I mean, to be a part of this geekdom right now, this is a pinnacle, seminal moment. And Infinity War is really playing a vital part of that. I understand there's something like over 30 superheroes in this one picture.
Can we make our predictions now, or because I have something to say about that?
Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah. Okay, so
do you want to go to predictions, or
let's hit? Wait, Saja has something on her notes over here. She wants to.
Oh, okay.
She has notes.
I do.
She did her homework and everything.
I actually do because
we had homework.
Infinity War covers 18 different Marvel movies.
Oh, good grief!
76 superheroes.
76 superheroes.
Yes.
Now I'm going to say something
that one movie, but in the spanning
the entire.
Yes,
okay.
Not just to major characters, but minor characters, and then of course that includes all of the different MCU adaptations, including S.H.I.E.L.D. Thank you very much, but everywhere.
Now I'm going to hearken to another movie that I'm hoping doesn't find any emulation into this one, and I took very big criticism. Not for me, but I took a big criticism to the movie, and that was Mortal Kombat Annihilation, where they had a whole universe of all these characters from when they've done the expanded universe. I think about that time they were either up to Mortal Kombat 3 or 4, and they were just throwing characters in, and at one point they were throwing them in by name. They said Stryker and Cowboy. Some of the characters never even showed up. They just had a mention by name.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping Avengers is not doing that. Like saying, oh, okay, here's Spiderman. And I noticed that, you see, this is going to be part of my prediction here. I noticed that some of the Avengers are not there.
Well, and I do know from some of the kind of the pre-press and things like that, the Avengers that we haven't seen on screen as yet, including Hawkeye, and are playing. They're doing their own thing in this movie, but they're playing a more vital role, I suppose, in Avengers 4, which hopefully will restore all of our faith in humanity. Because I understand that this movie is set to pull a George R.R. Martin on us and just beat us to death.
I think it's going to do worse.
With death. And
I think it's going to do worse.
I actually, yeah. We have, of course, everyone knows the Marvel MCU universe is headed by Kevin Feige, who's trying to keep all of those continuity points and all of those characters in character while we're doing it. And the Russo brothers are bringing it to the big screen. We've got some interesting small characters coming up, including joining. It figures when we all know what's going to happen in Infinity War, and joining the cast, this can't be a good omen, is little Peter Dinklage. Emmy Award-winning Peter Dinklage is joining the Infinity Wars cast as Eitri, King of the Dwarves of... I can't even pronounce that. It's one of the 9 realms, and he is the master weaponsmith. King of the Dwarves. So when you have a Game of Thrones alum come on over to your franchise, bad things are going to happen.
I wonder what he's going to create.
Dun, dun, dun. Come on. Yeah, so...
I drink and I know things.
Or I drink and I forge things.
There you go.
No, if he knows things, he's not allowed to say. It's kind of... It is. We live in this great, little spoiler-free society where everybody's trying not to say stuff.
It's weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah. So, all right, predictions, guys. Who lives? Who dies? Who's left standing at the end of this segment of the Infinity?
Okay. Well, Variety.
Uh-huh.
They put something out, and they said that there are 5 characters who are most likely to die.
Okay. What do they say?
Oh, it's very sad. Nebula.
Yeah, I see that one coming.
I can see that one coming.
Yeah.
Nebula. Do you think she'll go out in a blaze of glory?
I hope she goes out I really do, because she's a good character. It's a great character. And I know that a lot of this movie... Now, from all of the non-spoiler reports, and even from Kevin Feige's today on the panel, was discussing the fact that while this is an Avengers movie, and we do get these great buddy team-ups all through our Avengers universe, this is Josh Brolin's movie, man. This is Thanos' show. So there's going to be a lot of play about Thanos and about Nebula and about Gamora and the family interplay there. So hopefully if she goes out, doing what she loves, trying to kill Thanos.
Yes. Well, I hope to see that character arc where she, comes to the forefront and saves her sister. Because they were going on a really good arc there. It's good, yeah. Of character.
You want to hear something bad?
What?
I think she's going to have a bad death.
A bad death?
If we're going along the lines of J.R.R. Martin, I say she tries something and it fails, and then it ends up in her demise.
I see this as being today. Somebody made this comparison online. It was a really great comparison. I see this as being the Avengers universe version of The Empire Strikes Back, where we're left at the end with just no good feelings. Like they ripped the hearts out of Avengers fans in this.
Oh, you really want to hear my prediction then?
Yeah, I do. I want to hear Christian. What do you think? Who lives? Who dies?
All of them.
They all die.
I think what happens is Thanos gets his glove, wipes out the millions, and takes them all out. However, I noticed that a couple of Avengers are missing.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, and there's another movie, plus we've got Captain Marvel.
Yes.
So I think we're going to have something where all the Avengers don't survive.
Well, I'm not hugely familiar with the graphic novel, the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. However, other than to know that is essentially the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, is that he does succeed, and it's basically afterwards. The leftover Avengers have to retcon the universe again. They have to put it back to right.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this is the Transformer movie where Prime dies, all the Autobots are practically wiped out until the bitter end, and then at some point, I'm sure we're all going to have pits in our stomachs when we watch it, and I think the entire Avengers are all wiped. Because, remember, he has a gauntlet glove that can go through time, that can control minds and everything. At some point, I think he gets it assembled. I think he snaps his fingers. I think he wipes everybody out. And I think he leaves it at that, thinking that everything's finished. But I think we're going to find out somewhere, like at the very end or probably one of the closing credits, that there is a small glimmer of hope. Maybe Hawkeye was hiding. Or maybe Ant-Man was on assignment doing something and was nowhere around because they weren't fighting. Yeah. I think you're going to have, and I think I'm going to say I think Ms. Marvel is going to have a hand in it. I'm not exactly sure. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe this is just me geeking out. I think maybe Deadpool does come into this new one, bringing in the X-Force.
Yeah, I think they do. I think because they had, now that they can play with that, and I think that getting the merger done and the timing of that, I think, is going to play an important role in the real world in bringing in characters who can undo this horrible outcome. We know that Spider-Man 2 is getting ready to shoot. So I think Spidey's going to survive. because I think Spider-Man 2 is before.
Well, he might. So I don't know.
And we have
maybe this is a drop in the universe that they're starting to film, and then when they do to 4, they might come back. I don't know, but that's my guess.
Well, we have Spider-Man 2. We have obviously Captain Marvel. Brie Larson's Captain Marvel is coming, so she's off doing her thing in space-based. And we have.
What about Doctor Strange? I've come to bargain.
Well, the things, even from the teasers, things don't look so good for Benjamin Cumberbatch. He had like needles and stuff pulling on his skin. It was really, he's having a bad day in this movie, a really bad day.
Well, so is Thor. He's still One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah. So I mean,
and he looks like he's putting on the parking brakes and whatever that giant-sized wheel thing is in space.
See. This is who is it? Who guys? For all, let's go around the room here. Who are you guys going to be sad to see? What's going to be the worst death for each of you? Christian, who's going to be the worst death for you?
Because I'm kind of hard on it. I'd share Vision.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I almost guaranteed he's going to die because they got to get a stone out of his head.
Yeah, that's
so
going to be.
Sure Thanos is not going to make it easy.
Whenever someone rips something out of your skull, it's probably not good.
Yeah,
and it's going to be kind of heart-wrenching. And of course, we're going to have to watch as Scarlet Witch watches that, and we know there's been a relationship building there for several movies. So that's going to be a hard thing to see. Dina, how about you? What's going to be the worst death?
Worst death, but Tony's Vision, where he's the only last one standing. I think that would be, since we don't know when that actually took place.
Yeah.
That could be part of it. And the worst deaths, I wouldn't want to see Captain America go, man. If he dies.
That for me, that's going to be the hardest one to watch for me is Cap.
That man needs a shield.
And I'm going to be sad to see Cap go. That's my favorite Marvel superhero, and so that'll be kind of. Sage, how about you?
I am Groot. That would be so sad.
That's twice.
Well, that's my whole point. He's a teenager now. I am Groot.
That will be sad. That will be very sad.
Poor plant.
No
Dies
doubt.
again and again and again.
No, I mean, and you don't need much to go after Groot. I mean, it's really what do you need? A can of pesticide and you're good to go, right?
I think one of
I'm
them
just
got
saying.
to survive. Maybe Peter Parker's the one who survives because I think somebody's got to carry the torch or somehow be the thing. Like I said, I think they're all going to get wiped. You say there may be just a handful. I think everybody. I think if Thanos has the power to do what he wants, he's going to wipe them out. He's not going to leave them around. I mean, he's going to put on a battle and then snap his fingers and whatever happens to them.
Yeah,
but
and he's still one stone shy of a complete set too. He still has to get the Soul Stone. We don't know where that is yet.
Huh.
We have all the others. We're missing the Soul Stone, and so we'll have to see where he's got to travel to get that. I agree with Christian. I think this is going to be a bloodbath of Avengers, and I don't even if they're not dead at the end of this movie. I think this is going to be the beating of a lifetime. They're just going to get beat down so badly in this movie. I mean, it was harsh to see Civil War, to watch the team fall apart and take sides, but they ended Civil War on an upward note because we got to see Cap go and rescue the other. Oh my Lord! It escapes me now. There's a name for that. They're the Dark Avengers or the Secret Avengers. So he's the Secret Avengers. The Secret Avengers. That's right. So he forms the Secret Avengers in that rescue moment, and Tony takes over the Avengers from the Avengers building. But that was a hopeful note. We saw the phone, the message. If you ever need me, I'll be there, and all of that led to kind of gave us all. They fell apart, but yeah, there's still a team in there. I really think this is the movie that shreds the team and leaves us, again, Empire Strikes Back. Han is taken, and Luke loses his arm, and there's no upside to that. I mean, just everybody's sitting on the deck of the ship, looking out at space, going, "Oh God, life sucks." And I think this is the Avengers movie that does that to us.
Well, there are some villains that are rumored, just rumored, to be making a comeback in Infinity Wars. Red Skull is one of those. Speaking of Cap. Can you imagine that?
I can, because remember,
he has himself a whole crew of bad guys. It's not just him by himself.
No, he's got his folks.
Yeah.
And then, of course, and at the end of Captain America, we actually did see Red Skull be sucked through the Tesseract, which is a portal. So Kevin Feige was very clear. Red Skull didn't die; he was sucked into the Tesseract. So wherever he went, so he's out there in the universe.
Yeah. Well, so is Nick Fury.
Nick Fury's supposed to be out there.
Yeah, but he's rumored to also be making a possible comeback in Infinity Wars. It's not confirmed, but that would be cool.
Well, maybe at the end we can come back and say, "Okay, guys, let's tape yourselves back together."
So who's going to get their eye back, Nick Fury or Thor?
Thor. Thor. Nick Fury doesn't get an
I think they're sharing.
Is it Nick's eye?
Aw, that's mean. That was mean. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is this is the one where the team gets its heart ripped out. Death, destruction, mayhem, and at the end of the day, everybody's. I do see that kind of that moment of that Tony Stark moment where he was in his dream, where he just is going to be there, and life sucks.
Yeah, with all the guys down.
Now, Kevin Feige did say this isn't a cliffhanger in a cliffhanger type way. So it's not going to leave us dangling. It's going to feel like a resolved movie, even though it's not resolved to our satisfaction.
Well, even with this Empire Strikes Back ending the way it did, I mean, we still came to the end. Luke got rescued, and he got his hand back, and then we saw Lando and Chewie get on the Millennium Falcon, and they were taking off to go find Han Solo and find out where it's at. So I think we're going to get a resolution of some kind, even though our universe is going to feel like it collapsed, whoever bites the dust in this movie. But yeah, I meant there will be a resolution, but it's only to give us an appetite for Avengers 4 and whatever is going to happen. But so I think this is also something that might be moving on to sprouting out in the universe of new Avengers and new things. They can take this in any direction that they want. They can have a whole new team of Captain Americas and Iron Man or Iron Woman or whatever that might take their place, or they could have a new, all these secondary or minor characters we never hear about in the Marvel universe all of a sudden sprout out.
I think this is a great leaping off point for that. And because we're messing with reality, again, this could be a great place to incorporate all of the cool things that come from the merger through that warping and changing of reality slightly, because we have to, in order to get the team back, in order to do all of those things in the next movie, we have to put things right. All right, we're going to take a little break here. We've got a couple of partners and sponsors we want to hear from real quick, and when we come back, we'll talk more Avengers Infinity War and beyond. So stay logged on, stay tuned in, and see who we're hanging with next.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
Greetings, true believers. This is absolutely, positively not Stan Lee, reminding you that you are listening to Krypton Radio. Krypton? That's the other guys. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. Excelsior!
Welcome back, Krypton Radio. I'm GW Pomichter.
And I'm Christian Basel. Welcome back, iHeartRadio.
That's right. Welcome back, everybody out there on the World Wide Web. We are here tonight, and it is Avengers Infinity War week. The movie will be out in theaters tomorrow, officially tonight, after the show, as a matter of fact. If you're listening to this show right now and you want to go to Infinity War, I know there are 8 o'clock showings at theaters all over the country, so get out there and grab your tickets and go and check this great movie out. We're talking Infinity War. We were talking about predictions, death predictions, and mayhem predictions. We were talking about our favorite moments from the Marvel MCU. We're just talking all things Avengers, all things MCU right now, including, by the way, the big merger over at Fox and, of course, the partnership with Sony that's bringing us the Spider-Man franchise again. And I also saw just in the set, but it's just around the Sony in cooperation with MCU. I saw the teaser today for the Venom movie. Anybody see that?
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
That looks amazing. It really does. They're going to do that character justice, I think, in a great way. So tomorrow night, when we're all able to get to the theaters, any big things you're looking forward to your theater experience?
Well,
go ahead, Christian. Go ahead, Christian. What are you looking forward to?
I was about to say, if it's anything like I've seen Doctor Who premieres and Doctor Who movies, I'm going to see a ton of people cosplaying. I see a ton of people geeking out. I'm going to be seeing people in theater, and when you have a fan base going in there who are dedicated diehard, it's much more enjoyable than just watching a movie. You have people who are maybe not familiar with it, or or seeing it for the first time. They're going to have a vested interest to be laughing harder at the jokes, applauding louder when their hero beats up the bad guy and such like that. So you're going to have more of a bigger energy in that theater, and that's always a fun experience. It's the difference between Small World to a roller coaster ride.
It really is. This is for me. That's what I always look forward to about these kinds of movies, is that it's a miniature convention surrounding a movie. I'm looking forward to cosplay because I know Cosplay Michael will be out doing his thing, and we look forward to all the cosplayers we're going to see out at the theaters. And I love watching the movie on the big screen, but again, we have a big screen here at the house, so I'm looking forward to watching the people watching the movie. I love those roars and those cheers and those moments of laughter and levity when you see your favorite characters for the first time, or characters meeting for the first time. Best team up in this movie, predictions and what you guys are looking forward to. What is the best team up that you're looking forward to seeing in Avengers Infinity War?
Oh, I've got to tell you, it's got to be Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Helmsworth was talking about this, and he said on the first day of filming, when he was with the Guardians, it was like being back in school for the first time, and he was the new kid on the block. Can you imagine that? So here's this big, bad Thor, and he's meeting the Guardians, and he feels this small. So
wow.
I think the humor in that will be wonderful. It will offset some of the more serious moments that we're going to have in Infinity War, and we're going to need that, I think.
And I know I saw in the teaser the meeting of the Guardians and Tony Stark. And that moment, just that single moment in the teaser, I about fell down laughing, because that is just to watch Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Pratt banter.
Let's go with my plan.
Yeah, see, that's just a great moment. Dina, how about you? Who are you looking forward to seeing the team up on screen?
I was just going to say the interaction myself with the Guardians team, with our core group that we've been watching for the last 10 years that have interacted with each other. Just watching the new group with the old group combined.
Sort of a buddy cop feel to it.
Yeah, it's going to be freaking awesome.
Christian, how about you? Are you looking forward to any epic team-ups, comedic or action or what?
I just want to see interactions between the characters who have yet to meet up and how they're going to relate to each other, especially characters like the Hulk, when he sees Groot for the first time, the two big green guys, and other other characters, I don't know about a team up, but I want to see. I want to see how all the relations starts to get together when they all know, oh, this is really serious S. We're in big trouble, and whether we like it or not, we are all on the same team together. I don't know about a team up, but I remember watching the trailer and seeing the part where Black Panther and I'm sorry, I can't think of her name, but they were talking about that they were going to open up Wakanda to the world, and she said to the reference like, "Well, I was thinking more of the Olympics or the Starbucks, not this." So that those kinds of moments where it's humorous because we're watching them try to get along, all of them having the same goal, but never having to have in working or been in some cases the same universe with each other. How do they get along?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the interplay because I know that, again, we start this film at the end of Civil War. Tony and Cap have had their falling out, and we know that Cap and Bucky and you know that the Secret Avengers have really gone off and they've worked more with Wakanda and with Black Panther and their crew, where Tony and the Avengers are over here. But we also have the Guardians coming in from space with Thor. We know that Hulk arrives apparently in a spectacular falling from the sky fashion from all the promo material. It is going to be really, but it's not like there's separated into buddy groups, you know, through the whole picture, because we know that Iron Man and Doctor Strange spend some time together early on. They're both scientists. Yeah, well, they're both doctors in their own field. And of course, then we know that Thor and the Guardians are traveling together to get here, and then we see in the teasers Iron Man and the Guardians off doing their thing, and we see Cap and everybody in Wakanda, and we know that Bruce goes there because he has Hulkbuster out there. Yeah. So now they're switching teams. They're switching, points of view. So somebody's kind of, as the camera moves throughout the action, we're following teams as they, it's a tag team match. Okay, bam, you take him for now. And it's going to be really fun to see those interactions play out, especially because one of the things that's the most difficult thing to do, I think, in an ensemble cast is to make sure that everyone in the group has a function and a role and isn't just playing second fiddle in any one scene. And so to watch them kind of tag team, switch groups and move through will add a dynamic to this that really uses the ensemble in a good way, as opposed to, again, we're talking, 71 superheroes, but we're actually talking probably 40 in this film alone. And with an ensemble cast that large, the danger is that no one gets enough story time.
Well, supposedly Feige said everybody gets their time, and it's very
well. It's also important to mention this is a 2-hour and 40-minute movie.
Yes.
The runtime on this 2:40.
So everybody's going to get their 15 minutes of fame somewhere along the way.
Somewhere, yeah.
And don't forget Loki, because realize,
that's right. He was
mischievous Loki. He is going to be doing some shenanigans along the way.
Yeah, well, I think that's there's a question: good guy, bad guy by the end of this film, Loki, because that's one of the best, funniest, most fun parts about that character is his shifting allegiance.
He tries to be bad, and I think the relationship that he has with Thor, inevitably he's good and he doesn't want to be, but he kind of ends up siding with his brother. He tries so hard to be bad.
So what do you think? By the end of this movie, though, is he coming back to our team, or is he Team Thanos all the way in this film?
No, I don't think he can be Team Thanos all the way. I think he's Team Thanos for as much as he can be, but he cannot bear really to the end, unless it's him.
Christian, what do you think? Team Thanos all the way, or is he going to come back around and try?
I think he plays Team Thanos to try to get Thanos off guard, but I bet you Thanos sees right through it and takes him out.
Ooh, nice. That's nice there.
I
play with fire, you get burned, right?
I'm thinking we're going to see a massive wipeout. and not just because Thanos flicks his fingers and knocks, and takes out the rest of Avengers. I think we're going to see a lot of things, a lot of deaths that are going to be right to the heart.
Yeah, anticlimactic. Because I guess that's the worst thing about the death, or even just taking a superhero off the board, is sometimes it's not this giant climactic moment. Sometimes it's just done.
Well, like you said, and you go back to Nebula, Karen Gillan's character. We have an expectation of what we would like to happen, and I bet you those writers we're going to take every fantasy idea of what should happen and reverse it. So I think Nebula is going to have a bad death, meaning that she's probably going to try to do something that we think is going to work, changes the whole thing, and then all of a sudden Thanos probably rips her apart in pieces and says, hey, because he's always been taking her apart piece by piece every time she failed. Here's the ultimate failure. He just takes her and just rips her apart.
Wow, yeah.
In the middle of something spectacular. Loki, he's going to try to do something to trick Thanos, but Thanos sees right through it because he knows he's the brother of Thor, and he's going to wipe him out. I think we're going to get a lot of disappointments.
This is it. Those anticlimactic deaths. I mean, you want if your hero has to go out, you want them to go out swinging. And I think these quiet, just quick moment deaths, or even like I said, even just taking them off the board. Watching again, it was not a huge climactic moment, but watching War Machine fall to the ground in Civil War was just an epic letdown in that moment. The idea, there he is falling, and boom, and it's over.
Yeah, we're going to have 100 of those.
Yeah.
How many Marvel characters? 70-something?
They're not in the middle of battles. It's not fisticuffs. It's not, bang, bang, shoot him up. It's just, an accident. Boom. There he goes. And that was an awful moment for viewers.
Yes. Well, I just don't want the whole thing to be like, the time dream that Doctor Strange sees, or this glimpse into the future that we see where everybody dies and this is all the stuff that could happen, but it didn't really.
Possibly. But remember, he's got control of everything. Minds, and I guess we're going to see the Soul Stone. He can control time, so maybe what they think is a victory, he activates the Time Stone, and boom, nope, you didn't have a victory. Or maybe we see, he throws in a mulligan.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Yeah, this is...
you're about to win. Nope, let me turn that back. Because I think there was a cartoon version of this that was slightly different. That was slightly different, and he had control of the stones, and he was using the stones. And if they're going to emulate some of that he's more powerful than we really think. He's not just going out there hitting people. He's going to be manipulating reality, time, space, everything. Yeah. So you have to not think on a linear scale. And think, okay, well, the Avengers win. All of a sudden, nope. Okay, I'm going to wipe them all out. No.
Yeah.
I'm going to start all over.
Yeah, it is. There's so much room because of what happens with these Infinity Stones that come together. Stephen, what do you think so far? What are your thoughts on Infinity War coming up?
Well, my prediction would be just a kind of like Christians, the fact that we're going to see this overscale wipeout, except for we're going to see it as a wipeout in our perspective, but really what it's going to be is one of the Infinity Stones, like the Mind Stone. Because, as Christian just brought up, there's an animated version of the Avengers battling against Thanos. And at this time, Thanos has got all the Infinity Stones and the glove is complete. And part of his power is that the Avengers kind of dare him to beat them with like one stone, using one of the stones. Not all of them, just one of them at a time. And so I think I kind of think we're gonna see part of that in this.
So the reality bending and
exactly. I think we're gonna see towards the end more of the Mind Stone, and we're gonna be, screwed with it in the mind, and we're gonna think that we're going to be decimated.
Well, that's the thing about this, about the Infinity Gauntlet, is that he can actually, it doesn't have to be an illusion. He can actually do that and undo that at a whim.
Exactly.
So, I mean, this is the kind of powerful bad guy that is almost, typically speaking, until Kevin Feige and the MCU, until now, this is the kind of bad guy that you don't want on screen because he's damn near unbeatable.
Right.
I mean, once all these stones are in place, we're talking about manipulating time and space and reality in a way that is inconceivable for any of us. And so it is. It's a bad day for our heroes. Obviously, I agree with Christian. I think that in some way, shape, or form, this is the dark. These are the dark hours of the Avengers universe, and a good place for rebirth, because this is where we're going to start the ball rolling towards some of our new characters and our expanding the universe. So it is. This is the water cooler conversation in the world all week this week, probably all week next week after this weekend. One final question for the whole group here. We know that Black Panther is officially now the highest-grossing MCU movie in theaters.
For now.
For now. That's my question, everybody. Anybody have a prediction for opening weekend on this? Where do we live? Okay, now keep in mind, this is a movie with a $300 to $400 million budget. To make this movie was $400 million. Predictions for opening weekend. What do you guys think?
I don't think that opening weekend of Infinity Wars will top Black Panther. I think over time it certainly will, but I don't think it'll really hit that.
Just the weekend, just opening weekend.
I think I'm going to agree with Sage on that. I think it's not going to hit Black Panther's opening weekend, but I think it's over time it's going to definitely hit that billion marker.
Oh, without a doubt. This is definitely a $1 billion movie.
With ease, if not $2 billion.
Yeah. Dina, what do you think? Opening weekend.
For the build-up for this that's been going on for the last 10 years, I think it's going to top or beat Black Panther. That's my personal opinion.
Stephen, what do you think? What do you think? This is going to be a good weekend it's a good weekend to go to the movies, huh?
It is a good weekend to go to the movies. I kind of side with Sage and Christian. I think it's going to hit right under Panther, but I sure know they're going to double or triple what they put into this.
What's the highest opening weekend out there? I'm going to ask Sage to go to the web here and to find out for us what the highest grossing opening weekend is before I make my prediction, because I want to think myself that this is the kind of epic film that will make its budget back in its opening weekend.
Now, here's something else I'm gonna throw in there, and this is the other concern that I have, because something that emulates what's going on right now, and I wouldn't say it's a worrisome, but something to note was the last episode of, I think it was Series 8 of The Walking Dead, where Negan was about to hit and take out somebody. We knew he was going to take out somebody, and we had to wait an entire year. We had to wait an entire season to find out, and then he wiped out 2 people. On a scale this big, and also being a Disney film, if my prediction's correct, I don't know if people are going to be so mortified that they're like, "That's too much."
I don't know. I don't know. I agree. I think any franchise takes the we talk about it all the time in entertainment. You always take the chance that you are going to jump the shark, as it were. Everybody in entertainment, arts and entertainment, knows that phrase from the Happy Days episode where the Fonz jumped the shark, right?
They're following to a certain pattern, but I meant like this being a Disney film, so all the kids are going to see it and they're going to watch all their heroes, if my prediction comes out, get wiped out.
Yeah.
And, how much of a toll is it going to be? Because it did affect, from what I've heard, The Walking Dead as far as ratings are concerned. They were high up there, and then all of a sudden, after Negan took out Glenn and Abraham, the ratings started to drop dramatically. Fans were like, no, this is too much. This is way too much. So if my prediction hits, that's going to be a lot to take on as far as
in that regard,
these movies are hard.
Yeah, in that regard, I think that puts a lot of weight on that post-credit scene. And I am told Kevin Feige released that there is only one closing credits scene. So stick around to the end because there's one post-credit scene. But that's if Christian is right with his predictions, that post-credit scene carries the weight of the film on its shoulders, because if you don't give our audience hope in that moment, then you do risk having turned off, like I said, those kids and those parents. But I'm gonna predict this comes in over 250 million for the weekend. I think they'll make it almost to that 300 million mark.
You think they get everything back in the weekend?
Not everything. I mean, I think that would be a little much to ask. But I think they're definitely going to push boundaries with this film. I think they're going to hit that 250 million mark. And again, because this is a huge, big tentpole movie, it's not just an opening weekend. It's a 4-day weekend. They start tomorrow night at 7 p.m., and the weekend ends on Sunday night. So I think with 4 days, ticket sales online already exceeded pre-sales for any other Avengers movie. So I think we're going to hit well over 200 million.
Okay.
And that's just it's an optimistic look, but I think there are enough people who I think saw the premieres throughout the country, the critics and those premieres, that I think are going back. They're going to buy a ticket now, because I've seen reviewers online say, I'm not going to give you my spoiler review until I've seen the movie 2 or 3 more times. And those are, they all got to go see the movie. Now they're going to go pay their $6.50 or $10 or wherever they're seeing the movie. So I think this is going to be an awesome weekend.
I think I'm also going to harken back to that post-credit, or at least somewhere around the ending, we see the missing Avengers. I bet you, like Tony Stark said, listen, we may not make it, so he's going to tell Ant-Man, he's going to tell Hawkeye, I need you to stay put, hide, go away. Or I bet you they're probably looking for Miss Marvel.
Well, yeah, because I know that the Captain Marvel movie is a period piece, so it's set back in the Captain Marvel origin story. So she's out there right now already, because she becomes Captain Marvel in the 80s, 90s period. So that will be interesting. Okay, we got about a minute here, so we're going to wrap it up a little bit, and we want to thank our partners and our friends for supporting the show so much. Famous Faces and Funnies, Rick Shea and the team over at Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida. You can find them on Facebook at FFF Comics. Also, Off the Chain Radio with Yvonne Mason is an author's podcast, and they have been supporting us for a very long time, and we appreciate Yvonne and all the hard work she does to share the Hangin' With Web Show and the Hangin' With Web Show Radio Hour in her webcasts. We want to thank all of our featured artists, authors, filmmakers, and creators in our featured creative program for making the show possible every single day. We want to remind everybody to check out hanginwithshow.com for daily interview episodes on our video show. In addition to that, we want to remind you to come back every single week, 7 p.m. Thursdays on Krypton Radio, and then on demand on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker. There's all those podcast places. All y'all know about those podcast places. Go find them.
Just look up Hanging With Web, and you'll find us somewhere along the way.
That's right. If you Google Hanging With Web Show, we promise you will find us, and you will find some amazing creative artists and entertainers. I'm GW Pomichter.
And I'm Christian Basel. And did you want to talk about the conventions that we're going to? Get these folks prepped up?
We will do that. We are going – the next place that you can see us out and about is going to be MegaCon Orlando, and we're going to do another couple episodes on that before we get there. In the meantime, guys, Find us online. Find our schedule. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All of the places. We're on all of the places. So check us out there. Remember, everybody, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.